the main subject of the festival is ecstasy and contemplation. And I could imagine that especially for what I got now from the other interviews, so people who approach more or less from, or much more from a spiritual aspect to the music than we are used in the Western world, that the ecstasy and contemplation for you might have a special meaning. What does these terms mean for you?
Our music is very spiritual. I personally come from a place called Banaras, Varanasi, which is the most important place for Hindus. They want to live there, they want to die there. Mm-hmm. It's the holiest place for Hindus. We've had thousands of years of history of music. Vedas were written there. There were great poets who were associated with Banaras. And I was very lucky to have been born in that city. And I was brought up there. From the very beginning, we're taught this spirituality through music. Mm-hmm. We don't touch our instruments with our feet even. It's a form of respect. We take the shoes off before we make music. We prepare ourselves mentally and physically before making music. When we sit down to make the music, we try and connect. And it could be we're always making music to connect even to each other. Mm-hmm. If I am playing with a musician who is singing an amazing composition, singing completely in an amazing way, I am connecting through him or her. When we make music, we're a team. I can't shut myself off and have my own. It's a journey together. Mm-hmm. It's like music doesn't have any boundaries. We don't have that separate situation where, okay, so this person plays cello, so I cannot play with him because he was taught differently, he speaks a different language, English is not my first language. For example, I come from a family of tabla players. There are 6 styles of tabla playing in the world of tabla. One of them was created by my family. So I have thousands of amazing compositions which were composed 300 years ago, almost.
So referred to my question of contemplation and ecstasy. So if I understand you right, it is so coming into the present moment, being in presence, this is for you the meaning of contemplation also as a musician. So yes. Arriving in the present moment, putting the shoes off, bowing, connecting, this is the part of contemplation, which is for you inseparable from making music. Is it right?
Yes. As you go to do prayer, you cannot plan.
Yes.
You can't plan. You can't sit down and say, I'm going to meditate for 1 hour. You cannot plan. The word dhyan, which means to connect, is to let go. You can close your eyes, but you might meditate for 2 seconds. You might have your eyes closed for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. If I may use this example, if you're happy, you give happiness. Mm-hmm. You're spiritual, you share the spirituality. You're kind, you share kindness. Mm-hmm. It's your self which makes everything else connect and make it beautiful.
And the moment where you feel the meeting, so that the blending with the other person, independent of which level. So after contemplating in the present moment and feeling
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
melting that could be explained or referred to this ecstatic moment where you feel, now the channels are open and we are aligned. And this is
As
also
as I was, beg your pardon. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, this is also how you play the music. So it is, there's no, if I understand you right, there's even no separation for you from how you live to how you make music. So it's, if you meet the people and you feel the resonance to the other in the present moment, this is ecstatic, like talking or dancing or making music.
Absolutely. It's almost like you bring yourself to that point because I've forgotten what I did before. I am in a different space. Now it's just you and me.
Mhm.
I'm in my music room. I have 200 tablas here. I'm surrounded by. I'm talking about music. I'm talking about this project. So when I walk into this situation, I am there. I forget. I have to let go of the compositions I know, the things I've done. Nothing matters. It's that moment. This is my family, that musical family, and we're gonna have this conversation musically, which will bring out this wonderful situation where people can close their eyes and listen to us as one. You have to bring yourself to that moment, musically or otherwise. We treat our audience like God because they are listening to our music. They're the ones who are going to be judging it. I have to do my level best. If they're not happy, I can never be happy. I am serving myself. So when we go on the stage, we are as small as we can possibly be. Because I want to please. I want to make them have this memorable time with my music. I need their blessings. That's how we were taught.
In a concert where the audience is very attentive, they are shaping the performance with
Absolutely.
the way they're listening, and that is for me it's something magic about the phenomenon of listening. And this is also one of the questions I would like to ask you as an Indian musician. So the the phenomenon of listening. So what the meanings? There are different layers. Would you like maybe to say something about this? Because this is one of the. It's somehow astonishing for me that we are not giving that attention as musicians. This conscious attention. We give a lot of attention to how my embouchure, how the bowing, or the many things, but the very fact of listening. This is often not in rehearsing and also not in teaching. Not a. So how is it for you? Is it? Do you have a different approach in the education, or maybe
Yes.
as a teacher or as a musician? So what does it mean for you?
It's like this. If I cook you a meal, I cook you some food, but I didn't tell you what it is. I don't tell you nothing about it. You eat, you're eating, maybe you like it. But the minute I say, can you taste the lemon? Can you taste the cumin? Now it's suddenly, this food is becoming more interesting as you eat. And it's like, oh, yes, I can taste the cumin. This aroma is amazing. So it is very important for the new audience to be taught a little bit. When we say, okay, we're going to begin with the meditative, like in a normal classical concert, we begin with something called alap. No rhythm. For a few minutes, just exploring the ragas. Then the rhythm kicks in. Then we have composition. So if you guide people a little bit, just very briefly, they know what to look out for. then they can enjoy a bit more. They might be enjoying, but they don't know how much the details are there. So I think maybe a few words beforehand always helps.
A friend of mine, he recently, we talking about Indian music because he's interested, but on the other hand, he's very confused about it. And he was talking different times and said, now you talked, you went into your project, and maybe you can answer me the question. So what is a raga? So what is the meaning of a raga? And I told him, so as I got it from what I heard and what I read, so there's not a concrete meaning. It's more like a field of meanings, of association. So, and he was so desperate. Yeah, yes, it's no. I heard all this talking about this, but what it is? So he wanted to have something clear to grab. What is a raga? And nobody could tell him, not in India and not in Europe. So could you maybe? So if you would be your student asking this, try to get this rational proof of raga or whatever it is, what makes him so unhappy about this question or so turning around himself. How could he adapt his listening so that he gets the answer on what is a raga? What would you tell him? How can he listen?
A raga is so many things. This is why it confuses people. Because when we say it's a scale, it's not quite the scale.
Yes.
Although the scale is one element of raga. Because every raga has a certain scale. Okay? If you read about it, they say, oh, raga is which colors the mind. I mean, all this. It's beyond somebody who's just beginning to understand the raga. We have ragas for different time of day, night, early morning, late night, seasons. We have rainy season raga. We have romantic raga. We have sad raga. We have ragas with so much pathos. We have ragas with so much spirituality. Now, when he listens to the 10 different ones, he would begin to understand even more. He would not be asking you the question.
Okay.
He would be telling you the answers when he listens to 10 different ragas. And if you were to ask him, what does this music do to you? How is it different from the next one I played? He will be telling you, not asking you what raga is.
Okay.
He would find it his own way of explaining. It's like saying, this particular music makes me happy. This particular piece makes me sad. This one makes me want to run.
So
every raga is different.
That's very interesting because what in a way, if you understand, I understand you right. So what you say is you are the guru, you are the master playing tabla since decades, but you would tell him it's not so important what I think what a raga is. It's much more important what you feel what a raga is. So listen to it and tell me what a raga is. So we would turn it around and you would have the...
Yeah, if I say this mood of this raga is romantic, but he doesn't feel it.
It's a surprising and beautiful answer on the student's question. And that leads me to my last question to you. That it is maybe for me it's connected. So our project, as you know, we were interested in this different views on living in a dual world. So the Western Romantic, especially the German Romantic hero, let's say like this, he knows he's not from this world, but we don't have a way to perpetuate. We stay separate, and from this being separate, there's a huge drama being always separate from gods, from the source. So we can go quite close as musicians to the music's heaven, whatever we can. But there will be always the drama of life. Is what we focus on in a way, also in the music, the emotional part. And this the whole Indian philosophy, religion have a very different way of approaching this, giving different weight and meaning. So, what does duality also, when we can feel it, I think, on all the answers you give on my questions, or of the student's question, one can feel there's a very different approach to this problematic of of probably there is less problematic for you on duality. So could you maybe put in words a bit what you associate with this, yeah, living in a dual world, dualistic world?
Do you mean physically? Do you mean the experience of, like, I spent half my time in India, half over here? Is that what you mean? That kind of duality?
Whatever whatever you think what it is. So of course there's the one very easy part but it's a basis of our experience. So we can't separate the day from the night if we don't experience. So that's the dualistic aspect of life.
Right.
And then it's a dualistic aspect living. We can't feel the German culture if I don't know that the Indian culture or Japanese is so different, and as stronger the differences are, the polarities is, as stronger I feel. I'm on another. I can put me on the other side of many things, and then feel how I am. That I am something which I maybe was not aware. So, but maybe there are moments where this dualistic aspect dissolves, or yeah. So it could be anything, whatever. I'm interested what does it mean for you? Traveling, buying a flight ticket as a different aspect from going deep into musical meditation or whatever. Where do you feel it? Or doesn't it have a meaning in the end? So do you say maybe it exists, but it doesn't have a meaning?
It has meaning, in the sense, a lot of formalities we have to do as a musician these days is become necessary only because all those things are part of being a musician. Back in the days, you'd be invited to perform. There was no time constraints. People were not worried about, the concert is on 16th of May, so you come on 16th of May. You could be there 5 days before. You're relaxing, you're getting into the spirit of this concert, in this knowing each other, but not necessarily performing, but just being in the space, because people had a lot more time. Also, it took a lot of time to go from one place to another. So first of all, I'll tell you about that. So if you wanted to go to another city 100 years ago, you would travel for a week.
Yeah.
Just to go to a different city. And I'm talking about India, not the Western world. So you have so much time. You have to be prepared. You're preparing yourself for that one big day. Now, we live in a crazy world. I do 2 concerts in the same day, in different parts of the world, because physically it is possible. What it does to you as a musician, this has to be sort of connected just the same. You prepare yourself. For example, I played here with a flute player. Rakesh Chaurasia is a very well-known, very nice flute player. I traveled next morning and I played in Pune, in India. Arrived in Mumbai, traveled by car, got to the stage half an hour before, ready on the stage. I played. I tell myself I'm not tired. And also the music, again, the audience is waiting. They're tabla lovers. It was a tabla concert. and I perform for 2.5 hours solo. And I'm working on their energy, just the same, because they're there to listen to you. They want to see and hear what you have to offer. So you already, if somebody said, cook me something very nice, you want to do your best. You will never do just the toast, egg on toast, because you want to do your best. So it works both ways.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you, and I look forward to meeting you in person.